A group of Paris police officers who were suspended from the job are now suing the city.
The City of London Police Department has set up a new safe zone for people to complete their transactions they started on the internet.
Kentucky's health department confirms the third case of the Zika virus in the state.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. 5 Paris police officers suspended last month for violating policies are heading back to court.
They were suspended for spending too much time in the dispatch center. And this week, attorneys for the officers filed a lawsuit saying that there never was a policy over time spent at dispatch. Victor Puente has more from Paris in our top story at 5:30.
This lawsuit alleges that the officers involved were targeted not because of how much time they spent in the dispatch center, but because they opposed a change to how long their shifts would be. The lawsuit was filed yesterday in Bourbon County Circuit Court by attorneys representing 5 Paris police officers. Those 5 officers are currently suspended without pay. Those suspensions started in February and vary in length from 90 days to 6 months. They were suspended by the city after Police Chief Rob Williams said the officers were spending too much time at the dispatch center instead of patrolling the streets. The suit, which names Williams, Paris Mayor Michael Thornton, the 4 city commissioners, and the city itself, says they were targeted because of a separate disagreement over shift length. It says, quote, "The administrative hearing was the culmination of a retaliatory effort by Chief Williams. In November 2015, Chief Williams announced his intention to change the work shift at the Paris Police Department from 10 hours in duration to 12 hours. The suit says during their administrative hearing, the mayor didn't allow the officers to produce evidence showing they were being retaliated against and denied them due process. It also says they weren't notified that they were being investigated, which is required by Kentucky law. The suit asks for the officers to be reinstated immediately with back pay, injunctive relief, and compensation and attorney fees. Not only are the plaintiffs asking to return to work immediately, they're also asking for a jury trial to decide this lawsuit. In Bourbon County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
We tried to get a response to the lawsuit from the mayor and police chief, but the offices for the city of Paris were closed today because of Good Friday. The city's attorney told us they had not yet received a copy of the lawsuit.
A former Kentucky cabinet secretary is accused of taking more than $200,000 in kickbacks during his time in office. The FBI filed a criminal complaint against Timothy Longmire in U.S. District Court in Lexington today. Longmire is the former head of the Kentucky Personnel Cabinet. He's charged with bribery concerning a federally funded program. Investigators say kickbacks were given in exchange for Longmire's help in securing multi-million-dollar contracts for a private consulting company. The consultant was allowed to work with insurance companies that provide health care coverage to state employees. We'll have more on the federal investigation ahead on WKYT News at 6.
The Kentucky Department of Health says it has confirmed the state's third case of the Zika virus in a pregnant woman. According to a statement released today, the woman, who is from the Louisville area, tested positive for the disease after traveling to Central America in recent months. She has recovered from the illness. Health officials are investigating whether there is a link between Zika infections in pregnant women and a rare birth defect called microcephaly, in which babies are born with abnormally small heads.
A coal truck driver with a history of DUI faces charges after a deadly crash in eastern Kentucky. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Bell County. The crash happened yesterday on US 119 near Pineville. 31-year-old Lavonda Hensley of Cold Iron and a Tennessee man were killed, while 4 others were injured. Last night, state police arrested Anthony Brewer and charged him with driving on a DUI suspended license and leaving the scene of an accident. Jail records show Brewer has previously been arrested in Harlan County 2 other times, both for driving under the influence. In Pike County, police are investigating the cause of a deadly house fire. It happened last night at Laurel Fork in the Feds Creek community. Emergency crews found 1 victim inside. The body was sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy and identification. The cause of that fire is under investigation, but no foul play is suspected. And in Madison County, police are looking for information on 2 suspects involved in a break-in. One of the suspects was caught on surveillance camera. Police say 2 people broke into Monty's liquor store on Irvin Road. It happened yesterday around 4 in the morning. If you have any information, you're asked to contact the Richmond Police Department.
Looks like we're heading into the Easter weekend with some cooler temperatures throughout the bluegrass. Let's check in with WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey for the quick look at that forecast. Chris?
Yeah, chilly this evening, Sam. Not going to stay that way, though, as temperatures really take off as we go into Saturday afternoon, and then especially on Easter Sunday, the 70s are a good likelihood into many areas. Yeah, anything but the 70s out there today. Low and mid 40s with overcast conditions. Starting to see a couple of peaks of sun showing up in Jackson, north of Frankfort. Get into northern Kentucky, we're seeing more in the way of some sun. It's cloudy, it's dreary. Lexington, 42 degrees. Feels like the upper 30s into many areas. Defender Radar Network, nothing that is going on, but that northwesterly wind. Notice northern Kentucky, how the skies are indeed beginning to clean up a little bit. That's the clearing line that is trying to scoot on in here from northwest to southeast. In doing so, that's going to allow temperatures late tonight, tomorrow morning to hit the frosty cold levels. Right around 30 degrees in the morning. Tomorrow afternoon, boy, the numbers really jump into the mid and maybe some upper 60s under a mostly sunny sky that is likely across the entire area. Milder air on the way for the weekend. Late thunderstorms will crash your Easter party, and then next week will feature some big-time weather changes. 7-day forecast gets awfully active. We'll break it down for you when I come back in less than 10 minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Police in a southern Kentucky town say they want to have a safe place for people to buy and sell online items. London police have set up what they're calling their safe exchange zone at the 911 center.
Police say it's already become quite popular. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more on what's being offered in a story that's due at 5:30.
It is the fear of the unknown, finding a buyer or a seller of a product online, but you don't know who that person is.
There have been a small number of incidents where people have been taken advantage of, and there have been some incidents of violence when these exchanges have happened.
Chief of Police Derek Howe says he's not aware of any problems in London.
We thought it was a way of making it even safer for these exchanges to take place.
Kyle Ayers took advantage of the safe zone Thursday. He traveled from Danville to buy a guitar pedal that he bought online, but he didn't want to meet in the musician's basement.
Where we have video recording, there will be a police officer presence, and also the telecommunicators will be here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The safe exchange zone is basically the lobby of the police department, which has surveillance cameras and is next to the 911 center.
Anytime somebody comes in and they just want somebody, whether it's they feel threatened or feel that there's a problem, just having somebody there, they can come over and get one of our dispatchers and haul it to the city police department, and they can come up and have somebody just directly there with them.
The police chief says the cameras, telecommunicators, and officers present give buyers and sellers assurance they can buy and sell their items in peace. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The safe exchange zone is in the lobby of the London Laurel County 911 Center. The London Police Department building is on Main Street in downtown London. Also in Laurel County, deputies are warning about a new phone scam. The caller identifies himself as Lieutenant Mark Richardson of the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. He tells people they've missed a jury court date and gives instructions to put two payments of $1,000 and $997 on cards. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says this is a scam. No one by that name works for them, and they would never ask someone to put money on a card because they missed a jury court date.
When a friend offers you a chance to double your money in just 2 months, it sounds like an easy decision, right? Not necessarily. One man learned this lesson the hard way.
If you'll let us borrow $10,000, we will pay you back $20,000 within 60 days.
Alan Langley made the deal and got the investment returns in 2 months, just as promised.
No place in the stock market offers you that kind of return.
He was investing with Chuck Beaver, a businessman who specialized in repairing industrial electronic equipment.
He went out, picked the parts up, took them and had them rebuilt, took them and reinstalled them.
The men conducted similar investment transactions 3 more times. So when Beaver asked for money a 4th time, Alan didn't hesitate.
Again, they had paid the first 3 investments. I felt good about it, so I gave them the $100,000.
But this time, instead of paying off the investment, Beaver said he needed additional money for lucrative new projects.
Chuck seemed to be like a nice guy. He certainly went to church with some friends of mine, and so I felt like he was a genuinely good guy.
So Alan encouraged friends and family to get involved.
And then I had my mother invest.
As a group, they invested $280,000. Then Allen got a call from postal inspectors saying it was all a scam.
He created a Ponzi-style investment by taking money from some people and then also paying off others.
In all, more than 30 people lost $2 million.
Think about it this way. If you could make that kind of money, wouldn't everybody be doing it?
Allen admits, though he thought he could trust Beaver, he could have done more homework.
What I should have done is went one step further and called them and see if he was actually taking the parts there to have them repaired.
Tough lesson to learn. Chuck Beaver pled guilty to 1 count of securities fraud and was sentenced to more than 4 months in prison.
Still ahead on WKYT, a trial date is set for 3 men accused of killing a University of Kentucky student.
I'm Bill Bryant. The budget battle continues in Frankfort. Senator Mitch McConnell on why the Supreme Court nomination should wait, and some guidance from Frankfort on whether you capitalize Commonwealth. The bottom line is ahead.
And later, not everyone is on board for the location of the new Bluegrass Stockyards. We'll tell you why on WKYT News at 6.
For all your hearth and grill needs, shop barnhillchimney.com.
Have a happy Easter with a little help from Kroger and save on everything you need for a beautiful day.
Treat your guests to Private Selection Spiral Sliced Ham for just $1.79 a pound. And whole pineapples are 99 cents each. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Hi, I'm Mark Krish of Coit Cleaning and Restoration. Almost 50 years ago, we pioneered the drapery and carpet cleaning business. With our certified technicians, innovative cleaning methods, and your satisfaction guaranteed in writing, Coit continues to deliver exceptional customer service. For a limited time, choose from any of our cleaning services and save up to 35% off. That's right, 35% off. Is it any wonder why so many homes in the Lexington area have one thing in common? A Coit van in the driveway. Call 1-800-4COIT today.
I love grocery shopping at Kroger, but sometimes life gets busy.
So I use ClickList. It's easy. I just order online. And with thousands of great items and fresh food to choose from,
I can get what I want the way I want it, then pick up my order at the store without ever leaving my car.
And for me, that's a game changer.
Order online, pick up curbside at store. We think you're gonna love ClickList. Try it now at Kroger.com/ClickList.
The AOP's had its eye on her for quite some time. We were just waiting for the right moment to move in. The vibe was anything but playful. Go. We knew we had to move in fast, but there was a crowd, so we had to play it cool. This is where the years of training paid off. We got the scratch-off ticket to her in the nick of time.
We're agents to play, man.
People think this job is all fun and games, but we take our fun seriously. That's what being an agent of play is all about.
Thank you.
Just doing our job.
Put a little play in your day with scratch-offs from the Kentucky Lottery. Fueling imagination, funding education.
We're the McCord family, and welcome to our show.
See some sea lions, how about that?
That's our show. Now go enjoy yours.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Time is running out for lawmakers in Frankfort to agree on a new state budget.
And Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell explains why he thinks the next president should nominate a new U.S. Supreme Court justice. Bill Bryant explains in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. Kentucky lawmakers are rushing to nail down a more than $20 billion two-year state budget before the Constitution requires them to adjourn. The Senate rejected the House budget that removed Governor Bevin's recommended $650 million in spending cuts, including to higher education and to the state court system. University presidents have urged lawmakers not to cut their allocations. And Kentucky's Chief Justice says hundreds of layoffs are likely if the cuts stand. The governor says the cuts are needed to shore up state pensions. Powerful members of both chambers are meeting in conference and working under a midnight Monday deadline. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell has spent the week back here in Kentucky, traveling the state extensively. He was here at WKYT for a taping of this weekend's Kentucky Newsmakers program. I pressed him on why he believes the next Supreme Court justice should be nominated by the next president and not by President Obama, as the Constitution allows.
The principle is this: you either agree or you don't agree that the American people should speak and pick this president who's going to affect the Supreme Court and tip its balance for the next quarter of a century. Or you think this president on the way out the door should be able to make this decision. So as for myself, I've said I'm not meeting with the judge. This is not about him. It's about the principle of who should make the appointment.
McConnell also talks about whether he could work with Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton if one of them is elected president. And he reacts to this week's terrorism. The full interview with McConnell runs on Kentucky Newsmakers Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT and again Sunday at 10 a.m. on the CW Lexington. Set your DVR or catch it then. There's always been controversy about whether you capitalize Commonwealth when it's used by itself but refers to Kentucky. Now the Kentucky Department of Education and the Secretary of State have weighed in on that question. Both say Commonwealth should be capitalized, even in a sentence like "here in the Commonwealth." So get that word out. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Thank you, Bill. A judge has set a trial date for 3 men accused of killing a UK student last year. Efren Diaz, Justin Smith, and Roman Gonzalez are charged with murder in the death of Jonathan Kruger. He was shot and killed last April. The trial for all 3 men will be March 6th next year. Diaz and Smith are eligible for the death penalty, but Gonzalez was a juvenile at the time of the shooting, so the maximum penalty for him is life in prison.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Chilly, cloudy, ugly, anything else you want to throw at the day, just keep it clean, but have at it. It's kind of a nasty day out there on our Friday. As we roll our way into the weekend, things do get a little better. Visible satellite loop on top of our Defender radar network, picking up on a lot of clouds across central and eastern Kentucky. Obviously, you've been outside today, you've noticed that. But we are seeing some clearing showing up across the northern half of the area. That clearing line is sinking in to the bluegrass region, so Lexington Metro, hang tough. That over the next couple of hours, at least a peek of some sun is a possibility. Look at the sky in Florence, northern Kentucky. All of a sudden, the blue is taking over. Lexington, Corbin, over to Louisville and E-Town with more in the way of some clouds. Jackson with a break or two showing up as well. Everything is now in full bloom. The buds are out. Everything's early. It's low 40s now. We're going to clear the skies up. That's going to allow temperatures to really drop quickly tonight. Frost is a good possibility, and especially in those valleys early tomorrow morning. We could be into the low 30s. Winds coming at us from the northeast right now, so that's where the cooler air is blowing. Eventually, winds will shift around to the west and the southwest, so we're already seeing that milder trend taking shape across parts of Missouri and into western Kentucky, and that trend settles in here for the day tomorrow. Frosty start, but a mild afternoon. We go into your Easter Sunday on the 3-day threat track. Breezy and mild, chance for some thunderstorms late in the afternoon toward the evening, and 1 or 2 of those could be on the strong side. Monday's forecast. Chilly, chance for a shower or 2 in the morning. There's even the potential for some severe weather across parts of southwestern Kentucky. Storm Prediction Center with that slight risk area from Bowling Green down toward Nashville and Memphis, Tennessee. The lowest chance or risk area is the marginal risk, and that it gets all the way to parts of the bluegrass region and west of Interstate 75. Most of that comes late Sunday afternoon into the evening. Let's walk you through that period. Hour by hour forecast, upper 30s. Showing up by 11 this evening. That's a steep drop in temperatures. The only thing that may keep widespread frost from forming tonight would be the winds that could gust up 15-20 miles per hour on and off through tonight. Now, eventually, that's a milder wind that will boost your Saturday afternoon into the middle 60s. Sunday, Easter Sunday morning, sunrise services, readings generally upper 40s, and then it's a quick rise, 70 to 75 by the afternoon. And then look what happens after 3 or 4 o'clock. All of a sudden, we get some showers and some thunderstorms to blow on into town. And those could be on the gusty side to end your weekend. A morning shower or 2 on Monday. Long range call middle of next week. Temperatures will hit 70 again by Wednesday ahead of a strong cold front with some booming storms on Thursday. Cold air still on the weather menu, guys, for the first week of April, which is just beyond that 7-day forecast.
All in all, pretty nice week, especially for Easter.
It really is. Most of those Easter egg hunts should go off without a problem with temperatures in the 70s.
Good. Thank you, Chris.
You bet.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic and overall traffic view. Tell you about a couple of collisions. One is in North Broadway at Loudon. That's an injury crash. Another one on the outer loop of Manowar. This is just past Parker's Mill. Now, of course, Sweet 16 traffic downtown. And as we get a look at the traffic around Rupp as the Girls Sweet 16 continues there on North Broadway, also South Broadway, Main Street, a wide view of what's happening in that area. Now, as far as our drive times are concerned, we're still okay to Nicholasville. Normal ride there, 14 minutes or so. Outbound to Mount Sterling on 64 from Lexington looks okay, and no problems on 75 toward Richmond. Now back to the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Brian Milam is in on this Friday. And how about our Morehead State Eagles?
Yeah, MSU playing in the CBI Tournament Finals. It's a best-of-3 series, and we will go to Rupp Arena as the UK women meet in Washington for a date in the region finals. Sports is now.
Thursday, April 7th. It's big news we know you'll love.
Our show's back on. And hooray for love.
The Honest Odd Couple returns.
Oscar. Felix, shut up.
For a flipping, funny new season.
Let's call it a night. Also, let's call 911.
Matthew Perry and Thomas Lennon star in the comedy hit.
Got it right in the ball.
The Odd Couple premieres after The Big Bang Theory Thursday, April 7th.
This time of year, everyone in the Lexington area is excited because they know it's time for the Burke Furniture March Markdown Madness Sale. Slam dunk huge savings up to 60% off in every department.
A beautiful home begins at Burke's.
At Hair Win, we've been helping people for 125 years.
If you've been injured in a life-changing accident, we can help.
Contact us at helpingkentucky.com.
Hair Win. Visit helpingkentucky.com.
Where can you satisfy your craving for a delicious 100% Alaskan cod meal? Right here at Long John Silver's. Enjoy our tasty 2-piece hand-battered Alaskan cod basket, hand-dipped in our classic batter, now for just $5.99. Because at Long John Silver's, you deserve more.
Want to fill your garage with the best value brand in America? Honda's got it. During Honda's Dream Garage Sales Event, get a brand new 2016 CR-V, the #1 selling SUV, just $229 a month. Or drive with 0 down, 0 security, and 0 first month's payment. The 2016 CR-V comes fully loaded with available Honda Lane Watch, brake assist, and more. Just $229 a month or 0 due at signing. Honda's got it at your Central Kentucky Honda dealers.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
With Whitaker Bank's new home equity loan, I only had to pay 1% of my balance back monthly.
Whitaker Bank lets qualified applicants borrow up to 90% of your home's value to use now or down the road.
I had 0 closing costs with the help of Whitaker Bank and the power of the equity in my home.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
Hear that? Sound fast? Wait till you ride it. Lightning Rod, Dollywood's super fast 2-time world record-breaking coaster. The world's fastest wood coaster and the world's first wood launch coaster. Lightning Rod, peeling out this spring and only at Dollywood. Buy your 2016 season pass now and save.
If you've been injured in an accident, your injuries can last a long time, even a lifetime. Visit forthepeople.com. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
This time of year, everyone in the Lexington area is excited because they know it's time for the Burke Furniture March Markdown Madness Sale. Slam dunk huge savings up to 60% off in every department.
A beautiful home begins at Burke's.
The UK women are in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament, and they're basically playing a home game tonight in Rupp Arena, and that's where we find our Christy Thomas to preview tonight's UK-Washington matchup.
On Selection Monday, when the Cats found out they were the 3 seed in the Lexington Regional, it would have been really easy to look past those first and second round ball games. But the Cats wouldn't have that. They didn't want any piece of that. They were anticipating getting to this point and getting to this Sweet 16. Matthew Mitchell has done a great job of not letting them look ahead and limiting their distractions, all while still being right here at home.
Look, it'll be a real challenge. Washington's an outstanding team. Put a lot of pressure on you to score, and are just very dynamic offensively. So this is a tough game.
Right now we're staying at a hotel off campus, so we're not on campus around our friends and other students. We're strictly in a hotel by ourselves. Everybody's got their own room, so even you can get some space and separation from your teammates and get some downtime just for yourself. And it was like that for the first 2 rounds too. So it's just we're staying focused. We're treating it like a road game, even though we're in Lexington.
So Michaela Epps suffered a sprained right shoulder in her game on Monday. She's been practicing this week, albeit some limited. She did practice yesterday, a little bit sore, said she could be playing through a little bit of pain tonight, but she also said there was no way in the world that she was not going to play in this ball game. They are the first of a doubleheader following the Kentucky game. It will be number 1 Notre Dame taking on 4 seed Stanford. Brian, back to you.
Thank you very much, Christy. Now the Morehead State Eagles, they are in the CBI Championship Series against Nevada. It's not one game, it's a best 2 out of 3, and game 1 is Monday night in Morehead. This is the first time MSU has ever been in a postseason title game outside of the OVC. Even though it's not an NCAA title game or even an NIT, a title game is a title game.
Plus, to be on a Division I level and playing at a Division I postseason tournament, it feels just as good to us as being NCAA. So we're just taking it and we're just riding with it.
CBI started off, it was kind of like one of those tournaments like, how are we playing in the CBI? But now we're here in the championship, everybody's happy and everybody just wants to win this game. So this is definitely a good thing. We're making history and we're doing big things, so it's a good thing to bring to Morehead.
I mean, anytime you win a championship of any sort at this level, it's big time. It's big for the program. It keeps your brand out there, and everything's happening at the right time.
We will have more on Morehead State in just a few minutes, and UK baseball opens up a 3-game set with Florida. We'll talk about it in the next half hour. That's sports. We'll be right back.